Yo.
What up, man? Holy shit.
What's going on, dude?
Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Cox Automotive is the label that pays me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's all I got. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm driving to Florida tomorrow in the morning, and I have yet to pack. So
Classic procrastination at its finest.
yeah. So I'll I'll do this podcast, and I definitely do not have a girl downstairs waiting to hang out with me. Definitely do not.
It's good to know. If
Yeah.
anyone's curious, Luke has actually an owl he's dating right now.
Yeah, something like that.
Not a girl, not a boy. Interspecies erotica, that's what we specialize in here. It's legal in 13 states.
They're mostly the southern states, so.
And the Midwest. Do not forget about Nebraska. No joke, I'm pretty sure it's legit like okay over there, and I'm like baffled. But anyway, speaking of animals, we have a special guest here today, don't we, my dude?
We have a floorbird joining us.
Yeah, a floorbird. Now,
yeah.
What is a floorbird, you guys might ask? Well, allegedly, it's a feeling of lying in a field and watching the clouds over as the sun sets, or it's an emotion that only the only place to go is up. In other words, Floorbird's a band, and today we got our dude Eric Reevy from Floorbird joining us today, and I'm excited for this because, wow, that single is rad.
Dude, not only is the single really good, musically, it's catchy, like, it's like, dude, it's like right up my alley style-wise. Can't wait to play a show with these guys. But they announce it
when there are shows.
Right, when there are shows, yeah.
Yeah.
But they announce it as a lyric video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a music video, like, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I would totally put that up there with a music video with lyrics. It's like, because it's featuring the band members, it's real rad. But like the way they get the lyrics up on there, I mean, we'll have to ask Eric give some of that, the downtown scoop, so to speak, on all of this. Because like some of the it's so creative. Like some of the words are coming off vinyl, some of them come off a TV screen.
Yeah.
I think one was on a mug, if I'm remembering that. I had to watch it again, honestly.
Yeah. And one of them
watched it like 3 a.m. today.
All right, and one of them is one of them is turning their like amplifier on, and it's like going across the head of the amplifier. Like, wow, like, dude, it's like it's a very simple video. Like it doesn't have a lot of crazy stuff going on, but it's very innovative and very well thought out.
Yeah, shout out to the dudes at Floorbird and Kevin Folk, all those guys, man. Tom, and I honestly can't. I'm forgetting somebody I know. There's 4 members. Graham, thank you. I was just like, help me.
Yeah. So, dude, I can't wait to hear more stuff. I can't wait to see them live.
I can't wait to even put my dick in them. To put their dick in me.
Oh, okay. All right.
You ever seen Beer Fest?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Where he's just like. I was like, oh, we can freeze it and then like skate on it in the winter and then slush it down and bring it to the beer. It's like, I wanted to put his dick in me. I want to put my dick in it. It's like the song, not the band. I mean, consensually speaking, if the band wanted me to do that stuff, that's fine. We can arrange something post podcast. But the music, I definitely it gently fucked my ears for sure.
All right.
Look at your feet, like okay.
I'm like. Wow. You should write music reviews for people. So we've got Eric. We're bringing Eric in. Let's see how this goes. Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
there it is. What's up, man?
All right. Sorry about that.
No,
no worries. We were just doing a little introduction. So you're golden, man.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We definitely didn't use any like grotesque verbiage for how much we like your music.
Oh,
you didn't. I did.
I didn't. Juan did.
As long as there's no grotesque images about it, because I scrubbed the internet for hours getting rid of those.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. I scrubbed it even longer. It looks like I found some gems.
Hey, real quick, I just want to make sure I'm doing this via a Scarlett interface, which I don't normally do. Is this coming through like loud and clear? Should I turn it up?
Oh hell yeah! No, you are perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and shout out Scarlett.
Oh yeah, yeah. This pretty much this whole record was done on the friggin' Scarlett 2i2 thing. Yeah,
Really?
So it was basically that. All the guitars were done on a Helix. It was a lot of like poor man recording techniques that other people came in and made them sound better.
Dude, so actually the Sunblind album, we should have Eli on one time just to talk about it. But like half of the guitar stuff was recorded on Helix. Some of it was with a real amplifier. But I mean, Eli is such like an engineering nerd. I love it. But he literally dialed in like the tone of my amp, my orange amp. You know, like he didn't just use presets. He like really dialed everything in to what like his actual tone is live.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I kind of got one out of necessity because I couldn't afford, first of all, any of the amps that I wanted. But you know, on top of that, it was just like at the time when I started this record, like we were in. My wife and I were living in an apartment, and if I were to be like cranking an amp at any type of volume that was acceptable to record with, we would have totally been thrown out. Yeah. So just being able to do everything DI was a huge boon there.
Yeah. I'm starting to get into recording myself just because I just want to learn. Because why not now more than ever? But there's
what,
just so much
time now. What? You too busy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was. But now that I'm like, you know, essentially confined to my quarters, so to speak. Now my room is my /office /gym /recording studio / I don't know, the dungeon. I have no idea.
Man, that's
so much crap.
Dungeon.
Yeah, well, that's the trick is to get a gym in your house, because I'm going to call it second puberty is kind of a thing that's happening to me right now, which is It's been exacerbated by the COVID and that I work from home. I'm in the house all day. I'm not built for the sun, so walks aren't a common activity for me. So, you know, my body's changing in ways that I'm not prepared for. I'm different shapes. I found hair. Like, I've never had any type of back hair, but I did find a few.
Oh, dude.
For the first time. I've never had them before. And now I noticed it today. I'm starting to, I don't know if you guys do this. If I know I have to talk to people, I just start to sweat a little bit. Like just by it has nothing to do with the temperature. It's just it's like a natural response now. It's good. It's good for me.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I sweat naturally just because I'm a rotund bud. But yeah, it definitely gets triggered when I need to like actually talk to people, because I'm like, oh god, what if I say something dumb? Whatever, I'm gonna say something dumb anyway.
Yeah.
But the only thing I can really. Yeah, I try not to, but you know, the brain decides to do other things. But yeah, I definitely try to go on walks and everything. But like my job actually is pretty rad. They gave us like a subscription to like a fitness thing online, and you can give me, well, not you guys, but anyone out there want to give me crap for this, I don't care. It's rad because it's making me feel a little bit better about myself. Pilates has been helping me out immensely.
No, Pilates gets like in like some hyper masculine circles, I guess Pilates gets like a rap. But anyone who has anything to say about Pilates has never done it, because I tried a few times. I think it was Pilates. I tried a few times, and I went with my wife, and absolutely washed out. I couldn't. I mean, it's not like I'm out here claiming to be in particular any kind of shape, but you know, to pull up to a room and have any kind of like preconceived notions that like, oh, Pilates is anything is right. You're in for it, man. It is.
Check that masculinity out the door, because I did 15 minutes of it. I still remember this because I fell. I was like, all right, oh god, and then just like I had the chair and everything. I just collapsed on my floor. I'm like, well, we're gonna sleep here tonight until my muscles regain strength.
Yeah, there's actually one of the classes. It was actually if you guys are in Phoenixville, it was at the place. It wasn't. I don't think it was by the fire hall, but it's not even open anymore. But it was the old timey building. Once you get near, it's sort of near Root Down.
Okay.
and they kind of had a designated section of like, now it's rest time, and that was typically it for me. Is to just, I'm like, all right,
24-hour rest.
There's no AC, and I'm out. I'm done.
I did a acting class in college, and I ended up dropping it like after.
What? Oh, okay.
It wasn't even like really. It was, I don't even remember. It was like, it was a theater class, and it was the first time I ever tried yoga, and like I'm a very like go like, to the point where I lay down at night, like my mind's still like racing, like, oh, did you do this? Oh, you got to do this smart, like, and I took it with my best friend from high school, and he's still my best friend, Justin, and they're doing like the relaxation part, like after we did some stretches and everything, and it's just like, feel yourself breathing, breathe in, breathe out, and like within like 20 seconds, my friend Justin said he just hears,
oh god,
like it relaxed me so much. I was shocked. Like, like yoga,
right,
like
man.
People like back then were making fun of yoga because it was like, it wasn't a masculine thing to do or whatever. And I was just like, dude, I was like, it was so relaxing. Like it stretched, like it stretched out muscles I didn't know I had. Like, but hey, like we skipped a very important part of the bread and butter boys. What are you guys drinking right now?
Good reminder. What are you drinking there, Eric?
It's the same thing in the video. It's pretty much the only alcoholic beverage I drink. I do drink Oberon from time to time, but my main thing is this Johnny Walker Black.
Damn it!
That's my.
I was trying to guess the bottle. Honestly, I was like, I don't know if you guys did it on purpose or not to like make sure the label wasn't showing.
You can't. Well, so that's exactly what I did. But
word.
If you look closely, I bought I want to say I made an investment in the Johnny Walker gift sets that they have in the holidays, where you get 2 free glasses. And so, if you, I want to say, save your appetite, you can get some free glasses around the holidays because it's the same price. And now I have 6.
That's awesome.
I have several glasses from either Sam Smith, Powers, and some other. I can't remember, but you get one bottle, you get a bunch of glasses, a bunch of memorabilia. I love that stuff. But I thought at first it was like Wild Turkey or Dewar's, and I'm like, I can't tell. I have no idea what that bottle is.
I
was trying so hard to guess it.
With American, like bourbon, American whiskey, I can't do it for some reason. Like it's weird. You think like whiskey people are whiskey people, but something about me and any kind of bourbon, American whiskey, anything. This is gonna sound super white, but anything that tastes spicy like that.
I was gonna say, is it like reflux or whatever? Because it's so spicy.
I don't know. It's that spicy and that vanilla flavor. I'm just like I can't hack it. I like Johnny Walker just because it tastes burnt.
Okay. Oh, so you like the more like peatier taste, like kind of like a campfire almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I dig that. Well, sometimes depends. Like I can't do Lefroy because that stuff's way too peaty. But I get what you're saying with the spiciness. Cause I just do Canadian whiskeys usually, and they're pretty red.
You gotta love a beverage that if you brush your teeth right before, it's ruined as soon as you. It's
orange juice, whiskey.
Yeah, it's in the same vein for sure.
What about you, Luke? What are you drinking? What you sipping on?
I bought a little too much alcohol over. It wasn't even the weekend. It was. I'm
about to say, is that a thing? Like,
no,
you bought just enough.
It wasn't even the weekend. It was like Tuesday night. I bought some Bullet bourbon or Bullet rye.
Nice.
And I am mixing it with. You can get this at the Giant store. It's a root beer made with cane sugar, so it's like a very like all natural. I mean, as natural as like soda could be. But
Anderson Valley, or is that a?
It's natural brew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell from the label.
Yeah, I got
or
that.
Appellation. Sorry.
Yeah, I got that, and I got the ginger ale one that they have, which I kicked. We used it that night. So, but yeah, it worked well. It worked very well for my agenda.
Ginger drinking ginger.
Drinking ginger. So yeah, it's mixed. I probably should put more ice cubes because it's so freaking hot, but it's good.
Do you have
Word.
do you have AC in that room, or do you do the recording guy thing where it's like there can be no outside noises, so you just like suffer?
So we have central air in the house, but like
Oh,
it's so hot. It's been running nonstop for the last 24 hours.
oh geez.
I don't know. It's just been so humid and hot out that our air conditioning unit. I mean, it's been keeping up, but it's still
Yikes.
kind of. I've got a fan going on the other side of the room, but
I mean, that-
Firing
that-
off all cylinders.
I'll
Yeah.
do something. We got 2 units, one in the kitchen, one in the master bedroom that feeds our entire house.
Nice.
And every time I run into people who have central air, I think of the line from Dogma when what's his name, the demon, comes into the house and sadly, he kills the lady who has the central air just to get the house with central air. And he has this whole speech of like, there is no exquisite sin more powerful or more significant than central air, or something like that. It's just-
Oh, for sure. Oh gosh, I can't remember the person who invented it or even that proposed it, but I gotta thank them every day. If I can go back in time, I want to just kiss that person. Just like, oh God, thank you so much for making me not have to sit in my own ball soup for life.
Are you
bad.
Are you talking about central air, or are you talking about just air conditioning in general? Either way,
Everything.
we can Google it. The information's available.
I was about to, and then something else came up that caught my eye. I'm like, wait, I'm doing something live. Don't read about weighted blankets right now.
I feel like you don't love this person as much as you say you do.
I'm
Because
trying.
It's on the internet.
Oh gosh, inventor of ACC and central air. Let's see. My goodness. Oh yeah, what am I drinking? While we're on the topic.
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Non-alcoholic. I have nothing in my house right now because I was supposed to go out tonight and get stuff, but Marge, my big old vehicle, decided to take a crap, so I got to get that thing charged after this. But Willis Carrier, that was the name. I go back and
Kevin's calling me out because I called Drew Graham.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm like
Sorry.
Graham, but I didn't know. I was gonna argue it honestly.
I figured it. I think it's Gron. I truly don't think I've properly asked. Drew, I'm so sorry. I don't think I've properly asked, but I do believe that it's Gron.
Is that
Someone
the
at our door.
is that the French pronunciation?
Oh no, it's a delivery. Sorry, I got really weirded out. I saw someone walking up to my window.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's all good. I would be too.
God bless Amazon, the best.
Yes, to Amazon.
Well,
Delivery people.
yeah,
and the warehouse
the
workers.
people who work at Amazon are
Right.
the best. Let's silo the praise.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's Gron. I thought it was Gron because his handle is Granye West. That's the only-
Kanye West. That's great. Speaking of that, dude, he's still running for president. I think he finally folded that idea out within a week. But
man, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if we want to do.
Just that portion. We don't have to get too heavy into this because
it's just he needs to get help. Like it's almost like yes, it was entertaining, but at a certain point, it becomes like, man, how much are we like just making fun of this dude who clearly is he's clearly in pain, likely having some kind of like a manic episode. The man needs help. I'm praying for the dude. I don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, I know we did get help a few years ago with that last stint. That was, again, the lack of better words, pretty prolific. But I don't know if obviously if that dude has been keeping up with it or acknowledging it or just said he got the whatever. That at the end of the day, hope he's getting what he needs. But yeah, I'm glad that he. I just looked it up. Yeah, it looks like he officially decided to not do that
Luke's
anymore.
giving that a firm no. I can see it in his face.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. Have you seen all this stuff? Like Pete Davidson talked a lot about it. Like when Kanye was on SNL, Pete Davidson was like, "My career's too fragile to be in the same frame as him."
Oh my god.
I mean, he's no better either.
No, well, that's
We're not gonna get into it, but like,
so that's the funny thing was they also showed it was on the Weekend Update where they had him come on. And who are the two guys that do Weekend Update? There's like the white guy from Staten Island.
Colin Jost and Michael Che. Come on,
Right.
Luke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like only watch clips. I only watch the clips.
I don't watch any of it. You're way ahead of me.
So they wanted to weigh in on Kanye, and Pete Davidson he's like, I wanted Michael to do it. He's like, he goes, because he's black, so he can talk about Kanye. But he's like, but I'm crazy, and Kanye's more crazy right now, so I'm gonna handle this.
Oh my God.
And he just started about talking about I think it was right when Kanye started talking about running for presidential, as a president or something like that. But it's ridiculous. It's so funny. But let's dive into the band, man. Like, let's forget Kanye. We don't need to talk about Kanye.
Do like 20 minutes of warm up. Holy cow.
Dude, Kanye can talk about Kanye all day. Like, let's talk about Floorbird.
In the future, we can talk about Graduation, but right now, let's talk about like you're saying, Floorbird.
So Floorbird, where does this name come from? Like, how'd you come up with it? Like,
so about a year ago, last June, early June, I one of my best friends, Taylin, had her band Migrate was coming up to PA. I had some songs written, and I kind of was like, yeah, let's put a show together. And we planned a show at the North Penn Social over in Lansdale. And I had debuted almost every song that's on this EP as a project that I called Nap Time. I thought it was really clever. Nobody else liked it. So that's gonna be a theme for me.
So that's fantastic.
I continued recording. I'm demoing these songs, and it finally gets to the point where the band is together and we're pitching names. And I had several, including just running with the Nap Time name. Nobody liked any of them. My wife Monique,
who's an angel.
She's fantastic. She's actually, speaking of the table I'm using right now, I wish I could put it in camera. I'm on my couch. This is not the study.
Right.
It's a coffee table that the lid lifts up and becomes a desk.
I used to have one. Yeah,
I love those things.
I am in an entirely new realm of luxury that I would never have found were it not for Monique. It's incredible. But she would bring it up almost weekly of bring up other band names and you sure you want to call this Nap Time? I don't know how well that's going to work out, and in a very loving way. And one day we were just spitballing, and it came out of kind of the idea of I think she said Skybird, and I was like, I don't like it. And she was like, all right, what's the opposite of that? Like Floor Bird. And I didn't have a ton of faith, and I was like, yeah, I mean, okay. And I pitched that to the band, and that stuck actually with Drew specifically. And
Graham, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Drew Grant, it stuck with him, and we still spat out a couple, but Drew kept coming back to that, and I was like, it works for me, man. Let's do it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it had something to do with floorboards, and I thought it was a pun. I was like, okay, I get it. I obviously didn't get it.
I guess, you could say in a way it is, but it's more so, it's almost like, you talk about Led Zeppelin, it's going to float like a lead blimp. It's kind of a similar concept to it is not, this bird does not fly.
Gotcha. All right.
But it is quite fly, because my God, we were talking about this at the top of the show, but that single you guys put out last week, compliments to the chef right there. Holy shit.
Thanks, man. I know.
Yeah, I loved it.
Dude, not only is it awesome musically, the video, you guys put it out as we have a lyric video coming out, but it's a music video. It's it's very simple, but at the same time, it's so well thought out and so clever the way you did everything. And it doesn't distract from the song. It just complements the song.
All of that to Drew. That is both his idea, that video, and by and large his execution. So that came out last Friday. We had known we were going to do a lyric video for, I think months at that point, at least many weeks.
All right, we need to hire Drew for one of our music videos.
Drew, I hope you get a lot of work out of this.
We've been circling. He's come up a couple times, and we've been talking about doing music videos and stuff. And I think we just everything I've seen him do is just so good. It just keeps getting better and better. The dude's incredible. Literally how it happened. So he knew that was coming. That this was a project that had to be done. Mm-hmm. And we have weekly, we kind of do the band in a lot of ways. It has a very, almost like a corporate vibe to it in a way where it's we have regular meetings, we have action items,
I pay for the premium like Google Drive so we can have like tons of docs and sheets and folders and collateral and everything like that up there. And you know, every asset for the record is on Drive and everything. And you know, we had a meeting scheduled that I think Monday or Tuesday of that week, the same week, the last week when it came out. And you know, I had been borrowing a camera from Kevin, our guitar player, for another project that we're doing, and Drew texts me and he's like, "I have an idea. Don't give the camera back to Kevin." And I'm like, all right, okay. I mean, it was a text. I don't know if that's what it sounded like. I like
Doc Brown for a second.
But,
Marty, Eric, you won't believe it. Keep the camera. We got an idea. Like,
we have to save your kids.
Next time it'll be Gilbert Gottfried. Eric, I want to tell you about.
That's a solid Gilbert, actually.
I was on
the scream. But no, he basically was like, "Hey, I have this idea," and I have a recurring problem, especially with the video side of it, where like it takes 6 tries for me to get it. We're filming a video on Monday. I still don't quite get it, but it's gotten to a point where I'm like, "You get it," and that's all that matters. But he the way he kind of explained it, he just goes, "Hey, Tom's our drummer, who at that time was kind of like, hey, I don't really have time to like Tom couldn't film at that point." And hold on, my brother just asked me, how do I watch this Bread and Butt Chug Boys thing? So I'm gonna
Butt Chug Boys.
I'm gonna send him the link real quick if that's okay. But,
no, it's fine. Share it around.
I approve of the rebrand. So
yes, I will be the Butt Chug Boy, I guess. For every 10 viewers, I'll butt chug 1 Miller High Life.
That's got to be a better title than what my brother would probably call us. So,
but
yeah,
but it's you know, he so Tom doesn't have time to film. He says, Tom, take your phone and put it at the other end of your living room and hit record. And he goes, okay, and he just goes and does it. And Drew goes, all right, now sit on that arm of the couch. Does it. It's like, all right, now play some games, or I forget exactly what it was. All right, now read. Now do the other thing. And now go back and press stop recording and send me the video. And then while we're still in the middle of this meeting, he just sends us the clip of all 3 Toms sitting on the couch. And he's like, this is our music video. Or sorry, this is our lyric video. And he's just like, everyone, I need it like today. And we just, I threw on, I'm wearing a hoodie in that video. I'm wearing a hoodie and pants in that video. You guys know how hot it was last week. And I'm just like trying to look, you know, I don't know, like a band person. And I'm like I'm a band person who's lounging and relaxing at home. But that's literally what it was. I just filmed a bunch of clips, sent it over, and Drew finished it at 6:20 in the morning, Friday morning. He was all night doing that video. It was really incredible.
I got a notification. Well, yeah, you guys released it around noon on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the notification. I was like, "Oh, sick! It's out." 6 hours before that, holy shnikes!
Yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't doing anything, and it was like weirdly stressful for me. Like I was like I had trouble. I had a lot of trouble sleeping that night. It was I don't know. I couldn't focus. I was like I like just constantly turning over, looking at Messenger, being like, "All right, when's it coming?" And I thought like maybe 11. And then 3 a.m., I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh, what do we got? No, nothing. Cool. Go back to bed. Kevin's still up. Everyone's still awake. Better people than me because I couldn't hack it. And then finally I wake up and I look. He finished it about when I woke up for work.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out to Drew Graham for figuring all that stuff out, because I love videos and they chop and screw stuff like that. And like Paranormal Activity is one of the ones that comes to mind, where like they shot it 2 different ways, like, you know, them like tugging at the sheets and everything, and then the lady in another type of the video like getting actually drug out by like her husband, I think, actually helped drag her and everything in the other part of the scene, so it looks like the ghost is doing it. I thought that stuff's so impressive.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And to speak to my character, literally the first thing that happened once I saw the cut of Tom in the meeting, I'm like, all right, listen. So Drew, if I stand on one edge of the table and I pour a glass, and he just cuts me off, he's like, yes, you can pass yourself a drink. Like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can. And I was
That
like,
was so cool.
It's honestly, it's one, like,
Hey, Kim.
you know, working on this project to me is just one of those examples of, like, you know, when you have the right people who are all, you know, aligned on what they want to do for this project, everyone brings something to it. Not just in terms of like, hey, you know, can I play an instrument? Can I do kind of the basics of my job? It's just incredible to sit every week, sometimes twice a week with these folks and make long-term plans for this project and watch everyone jump in for not just, hey, I'm able to do this, but hey, I want to do this. I have an idea for this awesome thing. Like, you know, like Drew is unreal at creating content, video, design, all of it. I vividly remember, like, it took 2-3 hours on a Saturday morning for us for that logo to be created.
Dude, I love the logo.
I was just about to ask. I'm assuming they did the logo, or
so the way the logo happened was, while I'm doing Gush, I'm going to keep Gush in one section, then we'll do everything else after. But
yeah, it's all good.
Drew does this incredible design stuff. Kevin is incredible. He's a mad scientist in terms of audio engineering. He's creating. He's been kind of in charge of all our live sound and all the pro audio side of it. And like what he's been creating and working on in terms of like what we can do for a live show, and to have Tom involved, who is just like in so many ways, he's kind of a jack of all trades, and he's knowledgeable about things that, like, you know, if you have a room full of specialists, it's so important to have someone like that who knows a little bit about everything, even like dumb stuff that I would like never think to talk about. We're planning a video shoot on Monday, and literally like I'm running off like, oh, we need to do like these 6 locations, and it takes Tom to be the person who has the foresight to jump in and be like, hey, listen, pal, it's gonna take like 6 takes across every location, set up and tear down. We're looking at a 16-hour day if we do your plan, and kind of like rating that back and you know, putting the logistics of it together. And I don't know, it's an incredible experience for me. But the logo was just a Saturday morning, again, one of the earlier meetings, and I figured it was going to be like, here's some broad ideas, let's put a pin in it and move on. And it ultimately turned into us frantically Googling birds that don't fly, and like looking for pictures. And ultimately what we settled on, I have somewhere in Google Drive, there actually is a spreadsheet that we started of birds that would be good candidates to use for logo.
Okay.
But ultimately I just found this photograph. It was a photograph of a duckling. And basically we threw that up, and just to watch Drew, he traced it, adjusted it a little bit. Like it's this photograph of a little duckling in a field of flowers, and how Drew managed to turn it into that thing was just wild to watch in real time.
I'm gonna say like a dodo, a penguin, maybe like one of the weirder birds of paradise, like no duckling. I'm like, that's rad. Little crown on it and everything.
Yeah, it does not look like a duck. So originally just had the crown, and we liked it, and then I thought about it, and I just felt like, you know, we looked at, so the Wonder Years has Hank the pigeon, and they're not together. It's always the pigeon, and then there's a crown in the actual wording of the Wonder Years, but we just were like, this is going to be exactly the kind of like fiasco we don't need, is like just having like Savage coming to somewhere. So weirdly, the Halo kind of pushed it over the edge for us, where it was like, okay, this is something manageable. Like, this is something that'll do it.
I was going to say that's a good eye out there, because I look at that and I'm like, it's kind of similar to the Wonder Years, but like, it's not going to be so blatant. Like,
Damn it!
It's not a pigeon. It's not a. I thought that immediately. I was like, oh, this is rad, but like, the thing is, like, Hank's is a character and everything. He's a mascot. He has like I think there's like a cartoon or somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Where like that, like that's a dope design. Easily, you can like put that, like you can spray it on the stuff if you wanted to and get stickers. Honestly, it looks like a really dope, simple logo to get like a tattoo. It's very minimalistic. That's what I like the most about that.
Yes,
because Hank's a little too busy for my like.
Please validate the decision, so I don't feel like I booed.
Dude, I like
no,
it.
Like it's for people who are like actually fans of like these types of bands and everything. They might see that, but like no, like they're just similar. They're not like exact. It's just really rad. Like, because I love at the end of the day, I love minimalist stuff. Like, you know, you get the like, I talk way too much in general, so getting the point across by like something that simple, I think is really cool.
It also goes with the name of the band, so it's not like it's not like you guys had a completely different name that didn't, have anything to do with birds. So like,
the magical ages. That's your name of your band, and then you had a pigeon with a crown.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys. So all right. So you released one single. You said that you have an EP coming out.
Yeah. So the EP. So the EP's done. The EP's been done. The EP has been done since March.
How many songs?
6 songs.
Nice.
We it was mixed
EP.
by I mean I'm super excited about it. It's more diverse than like that first single Let's On, but it's we picked I'm Not Nervous specifically for a couple of reasons. One, it's a nice taster. It's a nice kind of like catches a little bit of everything.
Right.
But also, we kind of did the thing. Again, this speaks to why I need the team that we have. This is why I need Drew, Kevin, and Tom. Is that I walked up to this like kind of almost like Netflix. Like I was just like ready to blow the whole load all at once. Just like, EP's done, and just tomorrow, can we do it like immediately?
I'm the same way.
And this was back in March, and it took Kevin. Kevin first had to jump in like, no, that's just not. We're not going to be able to do a release in that time. And I'm like, why? Like, fine, if we can't do it in March, how about May? Like at the latest. And then it took everyone chiming in and be like, no, there's so much else that goes into it. You can't do it right away. You need a release schedule. You need a single. Like, we're not only releasing a record, we're also announcing a band. There's so much more that goes into this. Like,
you don't want to just like fizzle that out. You want to just actually show how grandiose this project's going to be.
It's a huge part of it, and ultimately we picked I'm Not Nervous kind of because it was good enough to be an introduction, but not like the strongest song on the record. So it kind of put us in a position to kind of do a little more of like there will be more and it will be better.
I like that.
Well, I mean,
like jab being like the beginning of like a fight, not like taking a jab at your own EP. Like it's a little at the tapas, so to speak, of the whole entire.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like if anyone has kids, that you have your favorites, and but
it's not a lie. I'm definitely the least favorite in my family.
God bless you. But I'm sure Luke can speak to this, especially like once you're kind of removed from a record for a couple weeks, like you have ones that you like, whether they're your favorite or not is one thing, but you can kind of tell like, all right, this one is it's a stronger piece of music. Okay, fine. Like, and we're kind of hoping to ramp that up a little bit more. I'm Not Nervous was the very first song from this project. I recorded it 3 separate times completely, fully recorded it 3 separate times before finally being like, okay with this one. And, there was a bit of poetry to like having that be the first piece on the record, but there's a lot more coming out. It's been done for ages. John Sambrick over in Thornwall Studios, he's out in Lancaster. He did an absolutely unbelievable job mixing that record and super fast and incredibly responsive as well. Super grateful for him and the work he did. And
I have friends that have worked with John in the past, or Bill Asmuth for Asmuth Studios, and they're just like they have such a great ear, and they give great pointers too if they notice something and they or what have you. But at least they don't like give anything too insane. Like you try to record the whole thing, like, but they still have such a great ear and just really cool people.
Yeah. For sure. Well, so I'm Not Nervous was originally, I did one of like a really acoustic style cut of it at my friend Brian Treichel's studio, who was also the guy I had a solo EP a while ago called Sage Sessions. I did that with him, and we did kind of this really acoustic-y version of it, and off of a demo I had done. And he added a couple effects to it that like originally was kind of like a full band or demo, and he was like, no, let's walk it back, let's do a little more acoustic. And it was recorded at, I want to say 150 BPM. Mm-hmm. It was a lot slower. I ultimately re-recorded it on my own as like a full kind of something more similar to what is full band song. And then I realized it was just way too slow. Mm. And so I couldn't magically kick it up 14 BPM, just like, electronically. So I literally had to be like, all right, let's do the whole thing all over again.
Pull yourself together and do it again.
Yeah, it was. Which I have. I mean, recording is such a lonely, miserable process to me. But it's one of those like you have to get it done, and it's only fun when you have like a cool idea or something interesting to do. So like when it's a straight song like that, it is kind of like, it's not like there's all crazy effects. It's like delay. Oh, we got an 8th note delay in there. And then aside from that, it's just composition and cutting it straight through.
Does the wife understand the time process of recording now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, okay. I think she kind of always has.
Okay, she's a winner, man, dude. She's such a good. She's just incredible. We have a little. So in the study where I did do all the recording, she also she does. Wait, what?
You have a study? That's freaking bitching.
Well, I mean, it's a room.
It's so rad to say. Like, oh man, one day I hope I can say I have a study. Like, I've always said that.
It's
like, oh, this guy's living a study dream.
It's just the extra bedroom. I would love to do a studio in the basement. Our basement is a floating basement, and so it's a low ceiling and a floating basement. So our basement is I'm 6'2". Our basement is about like 6'5". So it's like. It's not super practical to like do music down there. Also, there's spiders. But so we do. I do the recording upstairs, but she does she runs a jewelry company called Galactic Sugar. She makes all her stuff. So that's everything I wear. But so it's a lot of times like both of us just sitting up there, and I think I accidentally but it's a lot of nights where it's both of us up there. I'm recording or demoing something. And then she has like a blowtorch and I don't know, it's like a polishing wheel. Like she has like industrial grade equipment in the
like the gem wheel, whatever, like so they can clean off the impurities and everything off the.
It's like big. It's got 2 things and it's like got this dust on it.
Dude,
I don't get it.
One of my roommates just got that actually. It's funny you mentioned that, and they were just going out there collecting rocks and stuff and put this through this wheel. And they come out. I'm like, there's no way we have anything cool around here. I live in Kutztown. The best thing I've seen is a fox eating a taco. And because he got out of the track, I didn't give it the taco, by the way. I don't feed the wildlife.
That would have been me being like, eat the taco.
But yeah, it was like going around with a Taco Bell wrapper out here. But they tumbled it and they came out. Dope stuff. Purples and like agitated stuff that was like I think it was like alginate or whatever, or so they found a agate somehow. What was that?
Was it agate?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were like they have a book and they're like, this kind of looks like this and this kind of looks like that. I'm like, that is so rad, and I'm like, well, all right, Kutztown, looks like you have some cool rocks, so we'll add that to the list.
Yes, usually when you move to a new town and you hear that they have cool rocks, it's a very different kind of town that you're moving to.
But maybe you need a spoon. Yeah.
But no, it's I mean, I had an interesting situation with the blowtorch that she keeps up there for like, especially like she like uses kind of like other metals as like a glue. You melt them and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So before we moved into this house. Our old apartment, she had gone on a trip with some girlfriends to Cuba. I didn't want to go, just because I was like I'm gonna get trapped there. Like I literally was like
trapped in Cuba.
I was like, who knows if 45 is gonna tweet something stupid and then shut down the border and then we're trapped there. Like that was literally like I'm a fundamentally very paranoid person. But anyway, I know she's coming back, so the first thing I do, I'm like, let's get some flowers. I'm gonna like get the house or the apartment done up nice, and I'm gonna light some candles. Couldn't find a lighter, but what I could find was a blowtorch for jewelry. Now it's fine as it is. I can manage. I'm perfectly aware of what fire is and what it can do. Right? I'm not a hazard. I can't stress that enough. I'm not a hazard to have in your home. But I take the blowtorch and I fire it up and I start lighting candles. The problem is, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's for safety, maybe it's child-proof. It was clearly me-proof. But it's a different, what turns it on doesn't turn it off. So with most things in life, I press a button to start a fire. I'm going to press a button to unstart a fire. But it doesn't work. And it turns out there's a tiny little pin, but it took me it's 5 minutes of me walking around the house with a just a like a 4-inch flame.
Like this is Doubtfire.
just walking around like, I gotta stay in open spaces because if I get too close to a wall, now it's arson. So I had to find. There's a tiny little pin, literally a pin in the back of the handle that you push in, and then that turns it off, and that's why my apartment's still there.
I was gonna say that's good to know for anyone who has blowtorches and maybe still have them on out there is listening. Eric's got the secret. It's a pin.
Yes.
Can you imagine if you had to call customer service? That's like, yeah. So I got a blowtorch on right now, and I don't know how to turn it off. Have you tried releasing the pin? What?
No. Sir, this is not a grenade. I didn't know you sold those.
We do sell those, but this is
the wrong weapon.
Hold on a second. Do I need to get my grenade? No. You have a grenade. No, put the grenade away. But to go back with the band, it's actually funny thing that you mentioned the Sage Sessions EP, because I was doing a little, like I like doing for any of our guests, I like trying to do a deep dive and find some gems and everything. I found the Sage Sessions EP, and I listened to that, and dude, your sense of, I want to make sure you are singing and playing guitar, you're doing everything pretty much besides maybe some accompaniments, I'm assuming, right?
On Sage Sessions, yeah.
Okay. One, killer voice, and I love your sense of melody. It's very reminiscent, and I hope that you don't take offense to this at all, but it reminds me of Chris Carrabba and Dashboard a lot. Even the I'm Not Nervous, I was just like, man, this is straight up got them Dashboard feels, and I'm loving it.
It doesn't sound like you're trying to sound like Dashboard, but it's
very seamless.
It has
it's so cool.
It has that vibe. It doesn't sound like you're like you wouldn't hear your voice and be like, oh, he listened to a lot of Dashboard, but it just has that vibe without being oh, these guys all listen to Dashboard,
Well, weirdly, it kind of that influence was a weird reverse engineered thing in my life, where when Dashboard was super poppin' when I was in middle school, high school, it was the folks that I initially hung with were like, "Ooh, Dashboard's so lame," and that it shouldn't, but that stuck with me for some reason for way longer than it should have.
Mm-hmm. And I'm right there with you, man.
I had a long. That's part of how I met Monique. My wife is I used to be a street performer in Westchester for a while, and that was just how I made money. And people would say "Oh, you sound like Chris Carrabba. You sound like the dude from Dashboard." And I kind of was like, "All right, whatever." And then it's you hear it enough times, and you're like, "Let's do it." And I just started YouTube. I just started listening through a bunch of old Dashboard records, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Why am I such an asshole where I just have to be so stubborn and so I don't know. I for most of my teenage years I was just too cool for everything, and that was one where it's you really shoot yourself in the foot thinking you're too cool for anything.
Yep. I'm right there with my favorite band still of all time, Fall Out Boy. Growing up, I was like, no, this is, and I don't mean this in any offensive way now, but as a kid, you're stupid. You're like, that's just gay, that's just dumb, women like it. I'm like, what's wrong with any of that? Was it so fucking dumb having that preconceived notion? I didn't even listen to the band. I just based them off their fan base. Listen to not Sugar Going Down. What was the track? Infinity on High, the first track off of that, and I was just like, holy shit! I've been missing this my entire life. What is wrong with me?
Yeah. So Fall Out Boy was what really got me into popular music. My older brother.
Oh, word.
My older brother and my older sister both have kind of much more kind of developed tastes than me musically. And actually, I think my dad really has alarmingly hip taste in music, where he knew who Sunny Day Real Estate was
whoa
before I was before I could wipe myself. And he's always been very. I think he still listens to 104.5, but he's he came in one day. He's like, you should hear this band My Chemical Romance. They have a song called The Black Parade, and I tell you what, they know what they're doing. And I was at that point I knew who they were, but it's it's jarring when you hear your dad say that. But my brother actually one of the first bands that I really loved, because when I was a kid I didn't think of myself as a music person. One of the first bands I really loved was Cursive.
Cursive is legit.
In 7th grade, The Ugly Organ was an incredible record. Just blew my mind. And before that, he had gotten me into I inadvertently because CDs at the time, and so it was you know, you don't want to get your little brother into Glassjaw when you want to listen to their records, because then your little brother takes your Glassjaw records and listens to those while you're, you know, you don't tell your brother when you're stealing his albums.
Right.
But so I started that, and then I started listening to Thrice, and like Glassjaw and Thrice were weirdly like two of the first things that I started, like Illusion of Safety. I thought it was the coolest shit ever. Just sitting around in 6th grade, actually I think 5th grade, when he first bought that. And then like OK Go was the first record, was the first rock album I ever listened to straight through. But that was always the influence. Right. And so like it was always like, you know, Pat, my brother, was always into like hardcore punk and like, you know, real New York hardcore and stuff. And eventually I found Fall Out Boy, and then that was my moment of like, oh, this is what I like on my own. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's
great. It's a great feeling.
Did you ever go back and listen to? So you were talking about Dashboard. So I actually got more into Further Seems Forever, which was Chris Caraba's first band. Did you ever listen to Further Seems Forever?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude.
Had a little bit of bass there when you're like, oh.
Dude, that first album, The Moon Is Down, like, I would say like that's probably one of my biggest influences is like Thrice, Further Seems Forever, Circus Survive. Like those are probably like big, especially Further Seems Forever. You should go back and listen to that first album that he was on. And they did another album, like I think.
Yeah, they're still a band now. Like they reformed.
Yeah.
And I think
was floored.
Yeah, so they did first singer was Chris Caraba. He left because Dashboard took off. Second singer was Jason. That album's amazing. Third singer was the lead singer from Sensefield, John. I can't remember his last name.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yes, that is exactly his name. He passed.
I didn't Google it.
He passed away. He had a heart attack a couple of years ago. But they got back together and did an album with Chris Caraba, which is really good. And I heard they're doing one with Jason, which Jason was far better live than Chris Caraba at that point in Chris Caraba's career. Like, Chris Caraba was young.
Really hard to believe.
Chris Caraba leaned heavily on autotune for their first album. And Jason came from a hardcore band, so he had never done any melodic singing. So they basically made him sit down with a vocal coach. They didn't let him use autotune in the studio. Like, I mean, he was only in the band for like a year or so. Like he was like 10, 15 years younger than all of them. But yeah, they were all in like a super technical, like hardcore band in the 90s called Strong Arm. Was it Strong Arm? I think so. Yeah, Strong Arm.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, but super technical guitar work. It's one of the few bands I've seen live, aside from like, you know, like those prog metal bands, where I'm watching the guitar players and I have no clue what they're playing. Like I'm just like they're not playing chords, they're playing like these parts, and I'm just like looking back and forth. I'm like, I don't know what they're playing at all. Like It's just, you know, definitely check them out. They're supposed to do another album with Jason, but I haven't heard anything. I have a buddy that's friends with Jason. I should have him find out. Try to see if we can get Jason on here.
Text him, hook it up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, the way back with the Save Sessions EP we were talking about previously. One of my favorite tracks from that, and it's not because it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds, but the last track, "Tie You Down," like that is some really cool guitar work, just really nice, smooth, melodic stuff. And you were saying earlier, like you're gonna have maybe something kind of reminiscent of that with Floorbird. Are any of those tracks or anything similar to those tracks gonna be on this new EP at all? Because I was digging a lot of that melody.
So strangely, no, there is one. There is like a down tempo. So it's strange. I'm Not Nervous is probably one of the faster songs on the EP, but not one of the. It's weirdly not one of like there are like I don't want to say heavier, but there's more like there are louder, more energetic songs despite
they're more dynamic or intense or what have you.
Yeah. But we also do have I spent a lot of time in between Sage Sessions and now actually working with the worship team over at Calvary Fellowship in Downingtown, who are an incredible group of people. Shout out to Josh and Julie if they're listening. And
shout out Josh and Julie.
I learned so much about pro audio from that group of folks. If you ever want to have like just one of the most mind-blowing experiences, just learning about pro audio and stuff like that, like, and just like effects and dynamics and everything, like hang out with worship musicians. They're incredible. But in addition, a lot of kind of there's a certain flow to a lot of those songs, like the more contemporary stuff like Bethel. We did a lot of that, a lot of Hillsong worship as well. And there's a certain flow to all that stuff that it almost becomes like a joke within the community of like, all right, let's get like 5 pounds of reverb because there's no such thing as too much. Quarter note delay. And then after the quarter note delay, can you also put an eighth note delay on the quarter note delay that's on the guitar? And then everything is like, it has this certain flow of like build up, down chorus, hit the groove on the second verse, up chorus on the second verse, let it ride out for a bridge, big ending, and then end again on another down chorus, right? And so there are a couple songs that have that really, really slow start.
Maybe a key change here and there,
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics at play in the record, but there is one song called Pale Blue Dot that's almost kind of like the down-tempo song. But my big fear was like, I don't want to do just like, it's an acoustic song, like it's the acoustic song on the record. So I took great pains to create. It sounds stupid if I'm talking about it. Like you'll hear it eventually, but it's very much like a spaced out kind of a borderline electronic song. The way it's put together.
I can dig that.
It's meant to be very ambient. There is still electric guitar in it, but it was kind of a built off of a song that I almost had on stage sessions, but just couldn't really put together the way that I wanted to at the time. And I still almost didn't do it on this record, but it's my mom's. My mom heard me do it at some show or something. My mom is insanely supportive, and is at like virtually every show that I've ever done.
That's awesome. That's awesome because my dad can't stand any of my music. He's not into rock music at all. So
yeah, I'm sorry. No, my dad's really supportive too. But my dad is like, I'm a lot like my dad, which is like, Monique frequently will remind me like, Eric, like you have a lot of friends playing music and like they're your friends, so they have a show. So you should, I don't know, participate and like support the thing. And I'm like, but I could just stay home and drink. And so like, I have to like, I always have to remember like, hey, yes, I am 28 years old and I'm already getting tired, but it's important to like, be supportive and be active and freaking, live life out there. But I very much get it. Like my dad is a little more like, dude, you kidding me? Like, son, I love you, but the thing ends at midnight. Like, he hit my whole life. He was up by 4 a.m.
That's my dad now.
That's not his speed. It's not fair to him. But no, my mom's at every show and she heard that song and that's like her favorite song. And anytime I said I was recording, she was like, is the song I like going to be on there? Is the song I like going to be on there? And I was like, no, actually, yeah, let's do it. And ultimately, like,
and that's that Pale Blue Dot song?
Yeah. It's second to last track on the record.
Yeah, if your mom loves it, I'm sure we're all going to love it too.
Yeah, that's still her favorite.
That's so cool. It's always so nice. I mean, it's cool when you have like not just your friends, but random, people you've never met digging your music. But when your parents, not only because they're supportive, but when they dig it too, it's just, I don't know, something about it. It's just very different. I have a very soft spot when my mom brings, or even my stepdad when he brings it up. He's like, "Oh yeah, listen to your EP you put out." I'm like, "What EP?" He's like, "I don't know, the one from the 6 years ago." He's like, "Yeah, your mother put it on in the car, and I didn't know it was you, and I liked it." It was just so funny. But
if they know it's you, it's a problem. But I use that as a cudgel because trick is they have to love me. So I just throw it at them constantly.
Oh, that's so great. Well, it's actually funny you mentioned too, having like that kind of feeling of like just wanting to be a homebody. I also had that. I've had that my whole life. especially getting older. But the teaser for Floorbird, I wanted to bring up too, because like I know Kevin, and it's great to actually meet and know you a little bit through this the show. I know Tom, and I don't know Drew or Graham, unfortunately, and I can't wait to meet them eventually. Graham, thank you. Sorry, I keep saying Graham because I'm a Vegas. But the teaser, it was so emotional, even though I didn't know your background or your story. But I'm assuming that was also Drew that put that together, or how did that come together? A little teaser for Floorbird.
So there were two. There was the one that was just black and white. That was like the dancing particles. So the two teasers actually were a combo play of Drew and Kevin, where Kevin took John's mix for some of them, but for a lot of them he also just took the assets that were recorded and available in Drive, and he basically it was like, okay, we have a few, we have 60 seconds max or 15 seconds for this one. And Kevin, would put something together, and then Drew would put it to video. And so, thank you, Drew. Monique. Oh. So talking about how Monique is awesome, she's
such a gem.
She's getting me a scotch. But I feel like an old man from the 50s, like, she knows how I like it.
That's a great feeling, dude.
I like a lot of ice, and then you fill it most of the way up there. Like, I don't know. That's what I feel like I sound like when I.
She knows how to do a good pour.
Yeah. No, you don't understand it. Right angle, right in the sunlight. Just enough temperature. Like, what? Okay, that's how you drink it. I understand.
Yes, it must be poured in the sun.
Yeah, directly into the sun.
But the first teaser, thank you so much, Beth, was just basically Drew just like put it together. He just took the logo, threw it on a background, and made it happen. The second one was footage Kevin had shot he took a bike ride down Valley Forge, and then he worked through a song on there called Thawing Out, and kind of just played with some assets and created that teaser. And then the last one was the one that was, much longer in the works. But that again was an everybody but me idea, I believe. And it was just like, hey, let's kind of create a setup. The only thing I contributed there was like, we were kind of figuring out what we wanted to do, because we knew we wanted kind of a voiceover video. And we, I hate to do this now, but we took some inspiration from the Wonder Years video that they put out.
It's all good.
Immediately prior to the release of Greatest Generation. Where it's like Soupy's like narrating like, we wrote a record in a basement. We wrote a record about love. We wrote a record about law, and like all that stuff. Yeah. And it was like our thing was like that, but not like that. And the idea was just like, the whole way this project started was, it partially initially from like a status I posted, but like once it was done, I was just like, I did a thing and wants to start a band. And then that ultimately led to a phone call to Kevin and just kind of like pitching the thing of like, you heard the voicemail, but the core the core concept was just like, I had been through it so many times with like my old band called Big Big Plans, which was like, that was like the project that people who knew me knew about for pretty much my entire adult life at this point. And it was a very strange time. I wrote everything like it was so much my baby. I was almost like an extreme control freak about it.
Right.
And I had kind of like, I had this huge ego issue where it was like, oh, well, I wrote everything. So like, this is like my project, like almost having that attitude without saying it. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of created, at least the way I doubt anyone cared this much about it, but in my head, I put this stamp on my forehead, like difficult to work with, like across my forehead. And, it was just like that stuck with me for a while. And for the longest time, I leaned into it. And it was like, that's where that solo EP came from. It's like, all right, I'm a control freak. Well, screw it. I'm going to be a control freak and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do everything myself. And like, I kept coming back to the band thing, and it just turned into like, Kevin and Tim Balch and I jammed one time years ago in my parents' basement, but it was always like
Timmy.
Fantastic dude.
Love that guy.
Love that guy. I've known him since I was in 10th grade, weirdly enough.
Okay.
Kevin Folk and I are friends partially through playing at Chaplin's, but then it really kind of got cemented when like I started talking. I forget who started it first, but I think I started talking about this drummer named Tim, and like it kind of came out from there. And at that time, I hadn't seen Tim in like probably 5 years.
I keep forgetting he plays drums.
Yeah, I actually only know Tim from his, well, besides Andros, from the previous band he was in that I played with called the Jantones.
Okay.
What's it called? Yeah, there was I think her name's Erin Lampert.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's like Aaron Quinn and something. I can't remember the last name. Like, it's like Envy or something. Very, very, very goth. And I still love Aaron because I actually talked to them from time to time still. But yeah, there was a point in time in my first band where I play like, every other week, and I'm like, oh shit, the Jantones are on. I get to see Aaron and Tim.
There you go. No, I had met Aaron briefly like a long time ago, and I think she like probably hates my guns, but just because again, like I was just difficult to work with. But
that's fair, man. It's a pass. It's all good.
Yeah, but anyway, so this whole EP, like these demos were literally just like, all right, I don't have the I guess self-confidence or whatever to just be like, hey, start a band with me. So I wrote this EP and demoed it out as just like basically an audition tape.
Right.
Like for other people to be like, hey, won't you please, like, would you like to play music with me?
Right.
You know, and that's really how the whole freaking thing came together. And I felt like there was a story there. And so just packaging that voicemail and putting it to video. And then of course Kevin did his thing where like, I never get it until I hear it. But like, he was like, what key's the song in? I'm like, it's in E flat. And he goes, cool, I'm going to take some leads and do a thing. And I'm like, all right. So I hear this drone at the beginning that you hear there. And I'm like, this doesn't sound right. And I'm like, why does it sound so weird? He's like, oh, I made it off key so that it has some tasteful dissonance. And I was like, what? And I was like, I don't know about this. And then by the second listen through, I was totally like, all right, I'm going to shut up. I get it. Like,
yeah, having that tension. This is again everything. Cause like, it is like the voicemail starts off like, so like, it's like, hey, I just hope this gets you. I want to try to do something. It's just very like, I don't know, like can't honestly think of the word, but it's just like it's very genuine, and that's why I enjoy the most about it. It's just you're just looking to see and how it sticks, and having that dissonance. Like Kevin, like you were saying earlier, mad scientist is an understatement. That kid that dude. At this point in time, has such a great ear and a great mind, and then the whole band, y'all got some great talent going. Not only that, some solid people on that project, and kudos to you guys. I cannot wait to hear the rest of this.
Yeah, and truly, like Kevin is in so many ways kind of the coach there. Like he really, I came to him and he came back with Drew and Tom.
Right.
Like, I was just like I basically was like, here's the only thing I'm good at, which is like I can sing, I can play guitar, I can write songs. Like I need you and like I need you to help me figure it out, or just figure it out for me, whichever one. But like that's exactly what happened. Is he came back with Drew, and then kind of ultimately Tom got looped in, and it was just kind of one of those like. Even with Tom, it was almost like Drew and Kevin were locked in, and like we were talking about drummers, and I just kind of had this thing of like, is it super fucked up if we hit up Tom about this? and the I don't know, the consensus was like, it's cool, like it should be fine, but like you can't put like if you're gonna ask someone to be in your band, like they have to be really interested on their own. And like,
right.
we sent the record to him, or not the record, sent the demos to him, and, kind of like got the buy-in there. And it still took a conversation of like talking about how I wanted to do it and really what the larger vision was beyond just like this EP or this record. And not just what we wanted to do, but how.
Right.
This whole thing.
It's awesome. Dude, you've got such a solid crew. Like, I've played shows with all of those guys, and like they just bring like they're like the core of the music scene around here. Like I couldn't tell you how many I couldn't tell you how many shows I've been at where like Kevin's playing or Kevin's running sound, or like dude, like, and like Tom, how many bands is Tom done?
It's the life of a drummer.
But he's so good. Like, dude, like they're all just like Drew was in. Did Tom play Imbrosive when Trey Todd left?
I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. That's gonna have to be a question for the Imbrosive dudes, because I know there was a lot of lineup changes towards the end there. I just I couldn't keep up with it because I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Wait, what happened? Okay, like, just stuff over. Naturally, things just happen because we're all getting older and shit happens.
They were like the pop punk version of Armory Infirmary, where there was just like everybody in the music scene was in that band.
Kevin, if you're still there, please answer the question.
Which is funny.
Tom just said yes. Tom just said yes.
Which is funny because Tyler was in Armory Infirmary, and they did the same thing. But it's like, it's like that's, and I feel like that's something like a lot of people that aren't really in the music scene don't understand. They're like, wow, like you go through a lot of members, and it's just like, it's music. We're not making anything doing it. We're doing it because we love it. So when somebody leaves because they need to do like school or they're getting married, like they want to focus on their career, it's just like, hey man, do it. It's like no hard feelings. We wish you the best. Like, we support you.
Yeah, it's one of the, like, I have a thing every Christmas I like write and record a song for Monique as like a little holiday thing.
Aww.
And there was it gets funnier.
Okay.
No, there was the first one I did a couple years ago. My she mentioned it to my family at our like Christmas party thing, and my mom was like, why don't you release it? And I'm like, oh, it's just for Monique. And my mom's like, I'm sure Monique would love if you like released it and made some money off of it. And I just I turned over, I was like, yeah, Mom, because if there's one thing my music is known for, it's making a profit.
Yeah.
There's one thing my music has ever done, it's led to money.
Yeah, all these riches.
We'll finally be able to buy that beach house we've been looking at in Wildwood.
Exactly.
Oh God, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if anything, a musician's starting salary, like maybe like a cottage in Seaside Heights.
I was thinking a tent on Lake Erie.
Yeah.
A tent. We made it, guys.
that the cops kick you out of halfway through the night.
I sold all my material possessions to be out here.
No, it's just extreme Animal Crossing. If you go to
Can you guys please rate my island? Sir, you are literally on a state park. You can get out.
Get out.
I had to stop playing Animal Crossing. It's not like I swore off it or anything like that, but it's like I had to stop playing because it got to a point where like I wasn't doing the creative part of it. I was just playing the game, the part where you buy and sell turnips, and I was literally just like a dragon, just hoarding money in the game. And so once I hit like 10 million in the bank account and paid off all my debts, I was just like, all right, I guess I should do the creative stuff. And as soon as it was like, oh, now I can like make my island nice, I was just like, this sucks.
I love how that game is played so differently for each user. I mean, I haven't played it yet because I was never big in Animal Crossing growing up. This one just looks really rad, but my Switch is just loaded with like penny games because I love looking up obscure stuff. Yeah. And the latest one I got was called, oh my gosh, a Suicide Guy. And it's this dude where to finish the level, we got to figure out how he dies.
Fair.
I'm like, what the hell is this?
There is, I don't know if this will resonate with either of you, but I texted my older brother about it as soon as I saw it. Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer.
Dude.
Incredible game for Nintendo 64 that has been re-released on the Switch.
Oh my God. I was so happy when I was doing the business in my bathroom, and the business is I pooped. And I was like, oh, sweet, Pod Racer, cool. I downloaded it and played it for half an hour, forgetting that why I was in the bathroom after a while.
Oh my God.
It was sudden nostalgia overload. I got that. They had Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, all these like Sony games too, that are on the Switch. I was just blasting through them all and just realizing I probably should get off the toilet.
There you go.
Look at your face. Wait, you don't like the toilet, Luke?
Don't let it stop you, Juan. You follow your dreams.
I mean, my legs gave out, so I had to stretch them out and everything. So
I don't know why Juan is standing at the toilet apparently, but his legs gave out. But
oh no, like I was sitting, and then because you're sitting for so long, and there's no joke. Like my legs were numb. I tried to get out. I'm like, oh no, that's a bad idea.
Do you wait? Hold on. Are you working your legs when you sit? I'm confused. Have
you ever sat in the toilet for too long? Or maybe it's also because I'm heavy.
I can't clarify enough. I don't want to test this in real time.
No, don't, because it's scary.
I don't want to turn this into a study, but I want to say, passively curious as to what like the structural integrity of like the toilet hose is.
They basically feel like a static TV. Like a static, like that's what your legs feel like.
Oh, dude.
It's because they start to go numb from like losing circulation from sitting so long.
Yeah,
this isn't like they worked too hard. This is just they fell asleep.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, I gotta clarify. I'm actually doing calf races on my toilet.
Oh, that's
I put 200-pound weights on each leg. That's why I have tree trunks still.
I thought you sat down and you were like, but just 2 inches of space.
Well, I have a squatty potty. I'm a freaking mongoloid over here.
Juan does power squats while he poops.
Kind of, but no, like not only that, our freaking everything in this house is so old, and I'm so afraid I'm gonna break this toilet. Still, every time I'm in it, it's just like you're pushing the limits, bud. You gotta start losing weight, or I'm gonna break down on you.
Dude, I hate that this is a tangent now, but no,
it's more my fault. I love talking about poop. No,
I mean, in like I'm 6'2", so in most situations I'm able to codify myself as a big boy, and so like I grew up in my dad's my size, my brother's my size, so I grew up in a big boy household.
Right.
And consequently, the toilets were big boy toilets, and Phoenixville, and it is. Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Have you ever gone somewhere?
This is great, ain't it, guys? Like,
have you ever gone somewhere where it's like a preschool or something like that, and you go in to use the bathroom, and it's all like miniature toilets?
Dude, I don't want to get into this, but I did break my old school toilet, and I had to blame it on someone else. I don't want to get too into this. I felt bad. They had to call the emergency janitor.
They're still looking for the suspect.
Literally, I did it because it was jazz night at Inglewood, and I did it, and I was like, I came at what?
So,
what?
I can't take it back from preschool toilets. What's
well, like just elementary school toilets that are meant for little kids, they're not meant for adults, but they don't let the adult. Like I was a grown ass man. Well, I was a grown ass man. I've been 5'6" since the 4th grade, but like I've been fat like my entire life, and I got fatter obviously. So in high school, I was pretty heavy. Then maybe come back to my elementary school, and I friggin' they're like, oh no, you can't use the adult toilets. I'm like, I'm 18. Let me poop in the adult toilet. They're like, nope, gotta go to the kids' bathroom. Weird as hell. I destroyed the toilet. I came out. I'm like, hey, someone just went in there and like kicked the toilet down or something. I don't know. But like, I don't know if you want to get someone in there or close it off. I was so afraid I was going to get in so much trouble. And they called the emergency janitor, and they're like, yeah, Mr. Heckler, I don't even know how it's possible, but someone broke. Like, no.
Oh, did I lose you?
No, we got you.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Sorry. It just you all just did the robot for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's all right. It was.
Sometimes I do that. But.
The internet was trying to stop our poop stories.
I mean, that's. I can just close it off at that. I don't think anything's gonna be personally gonna top that moment because, God, I'm such a bastard. But as we're winding it down, Luke, do you have anything else you wanted to bring up while we have Eric on here?
So when is like what's the next thing coming out? Like, is there another music video?
So we've got a whole agenda at this point. Like literally, we always plan like several months ahead at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So this upcoming Monday, we are filming a music video for the second song off the EP called Navy Blue, and then that will be out in mid-August. I don't know why I got very Delco there. But that'll be out in August, and then
it's all good. It's the Scotch talking.
And everyone in my office is from Delco, and it like rubs off on you a whole lot.
I can agree with that.
But
all right, Delco, yeah, okay.
Next Friday, just to prove that we can do it, we have a live cut of "I'm Not Nervous" coming out. That said, that song is incredibly again, Luke, I'm sure you can relate to this. Like you do the thing. I don't know if you like write and then practice and then record first. I write and then record and then practice. So so the whole record was done very impractically in the sense that like it was kind of like I don't care if the guitar parts are hard for rhythm and everything, and I don't care if like we have a song on there called 700 Meters that if we were to properly do it live, it would have to have, because they're all playing like nothing's doubled, truly different parts. An acoustic guitar, an electric guitar for rhythm, a lead electric guitar, and then a kind of a sub-lead electric guitar just running through most of the song, and then like bass and drums. But like it's very impractically designed. But I'm Not Nervous is just like it's an insanely taxing song to play and sing at the same time.
Oh, and you're in that upper register almost the end after like that first verse. It's just that's awesome.
It's not so much that it's because like you can kind of hear it. I have a high thin kind of voice, like that's everything. Like the 7B is like the only mic I use for vocals because I have to thicken it up. Like Alex Static has this really like thick buttery kind of voice that he has, and then when he reaches for a high note, he kind of thins it out when he needs to. I just have this very thin voice all the time, so I use this mic for everything. I there's no reason for me to own a condenser mic ever, but but it's that da-na-na in all the choruses and stuff like that I'm trying to play while I'm singing. It's like a rhythm with an octave in there, and trying to play all that up the neck and like keep that together and sing at the same time. It took me. I don't know if this is the best thing to put out in the public sphere, but to get a take that I was truly comfortable with took me 47 takes through the song.
Right.
I did gosh, probably 5 hours across 3 like days of attempts to be like, this is one I'm really okay with. Right. Like I did 2 nights trying to do it with an acoustic guitar reamped, and I hated it. And it was miserable. And it's like, literally, there were like, thank God the actual camera, like I did everything like DI, but the camera didn't have a mic on it. So the camera didn't pick up the audio of me just like walking around, like shouting in hyperbole. It's like, I hate myself. Why am I like this? I can't do music.
Burn me. Take my hands.
Yeah. Again, Monique being incredible. She kept being like, Eric, it's okay.
Here's a glass of scotch.
It's not what you think. Not what you think it is. Just you gotta practice.
I don't know why I was so shocked at 47 because like I have ample recordings of stuff that I don't even know if anyone's ever going to hear or I'm ever going to release it. But I'm like, nah, it's okay. And I have friends like, what's this thing you have on your phone or on your desktop? If they're like going through my music, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's some recording from 2 years ago. Like, why don't you release this? I'm like, I don't like it that much. So like, yeah, you get into your own head so bad sometimes. You just, I mean, honestly, I'm an advocate of it. Not an advocate, but I'm to blame with this myself. You're your own worst enemy when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to make it happen, and this is going to make it worse. But really, what helped, like the biggest boon to the whole project was, so originally the plan was like, all right, I'll play acoustic guitar, reamp it, so you get that acoustic tone when you need it, and the electric, that like dirty electric tone when you need it. Hated it. Did not turn out the way I wanted it at all. And what fixed it up is I love crappy guitars or like mid-tier guitars. Like I have a Reverend that's like my baby. That's like my expensive electric.
Which Reverend?
It's the Air Sonic.
Okay. So you peeked his ears.
I had the Manta Ray. That's why I recorded all of Awakening Mercury's Head for the Indies. Like everything except for leads was recorded on that.
Awakening Mercury. So that's actually a side note. I didn't want to say. I actually first found out who you were because of Ryan's a Wiki. Because I knew Ryan in high school.
Did you know Dominic Jones?
No, I didn't.
Redheaded kid, crazy. He was in band.
Are you talking about you?
No.
But the same, like,
it was my cousin.
You're like your alter ego. You know Dominic Jones.
No,
it's just Luke after a full 24-ounce coffee. I can't have that much caffeine anymore.
I faked my identity and enrolled myself for high school like 10 years after I graduated.
Dominic Jones.
My God.
Kids want to fight some dogs later? Dominic is a little too intense for me.
That's what everybody said, actually. but yeah. Ryan Zawicki was like we never played anything, but I was demoing. Once I quit my old band, I was like on a hiatus. I was demoing stuff, and I just did it under Awaking Mercury because my old band was Dreaming Under Mercury. So it was just like, all right, I'm gonna put stuff out on MySpace, and we got so many followers from all the demos and stuff that like I kept the name. But it's also, as you said, like how hard is it to come up with a band name?
Impossible.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
It like when we rebranded from Awaking Mercury to Sunblind, it took us like at least a year, maybe a year and a half to come up with a name. Like we came up with so many different names, and there would always be like one person didn't like it at all. Like Eli would be like, "That sounds like a metal band," you know. And I was just like, "I really like it. I don't think metal at all." You know, like it was just like, and then they would come up with something. I'd be like, "Nah." Yeah, it was just like it was nothing but a back and forth for like a year and a half.
Like I'm hoping the other project that I'm in with some friends from up in Levittown. Whenever we release this stuff, I hope the name it does stick that I put out there, Lame Gretzky, sticks. Because God, I am way too proud of that.
Wait, why can't it? I thought you were saying the full name was Lame Gretzky Sticks, and I was
no, sorry, like
why
Lame Gretzky. Yeah, it's all good.
But no. So weird dumb purchase was when I was in Big Big Plans. I had the Tom DeLonge 333, and I love that guitar. And I went through kind of a phase where I was like, I wanted to invest in a bunch of other projects, and so I sold it to this guy who was actually my boss at the time. And he basically was like, you know, like I knew the guy really well, or I thought I knew him really well. And he was like, "Hey, listen, I only have like $100 as like a down payment, but if I can get the guitar, I really need it. I'll pay you back the rest of it next week when I get paid." And I said, "Absolutely, sure thing, no worries." Takes it. Turns out he was deep in the throes of addiction. He drove down to Florida, sold it for drug money, wound up in rehab, and then like he actually reached out to me to kind of like, you know, he basically was like, "Hey, like because of my circumstances, I can't fix this for you, and I'm just really sorry." And he actually eventually passed away. But I really wanted that guitar, and I finally I found one because now it's because it's discontinued, it's become so inflated.
Right.
I found one that I bought from Boca. I don't have the serial number of the original one that I sold, but there can't be so many floating around, and the fact that this one came from Boca, which is where he left it,
right,
to me is just like, it's almost like me saying to myself, like, this has to be the one that I lost before. But I got that came in, and like it was just night and day for me. Like I picked up this guitar, and it was like suddenly I could play the song. Like it was weird. It was like suddenly I could play and sing the song at the same time, like relatively well. It still took a ton of work, but the difference was night and day for me.
That's weird.
And Kevin is not thrilled that I love this Tom DeLonge guitar so much, because he's like, "Yo, you are literally walking around playing another famous musician's signature guitar in a pop punk band. Like that's like, I don't know, that's like playing in a metalcore band and walking around with like the dude from, I don't know, Whitesnake's microphone or something." Like
I was gonna say, I'm like, well, metalcore. I'm like, I don't know, Jason Richardson gets a signature guitar, Tone Anabasi, but the Whitesnake, get the snake and everything. You can just go like this, baby.
Exactly.
Do what
that's
you
a
want.
Good, that's a good time for Gilbert
want.
Gottfried. Yeah. You can always fit a Gilbert Gottfried bit in if you're doing a Whitesnake impression.
Usually, yeah. They're about there. I think Gilbert's a little more bombastic than Whitesnake, but yeah, that'll be actually a conversation I love to fake in my head. Just like Whitesnake arguing Gilbert Gottfried about, I don't know, the menu item at a diner, the New Jersey diner or something. Yeah,
be careful. Pete Davidson's going to steal that bit now that you put it out in the universe.
Try me, Pete. Fucking try me. I don't know why. I saw my face, like my brows got in. I'm like, damn, I must really not like Pete Davidson for some reason.
You really don't. You really don't.
Well, I mean, I have my reasons.
I know.
But, you know, that's neither here nor there.
But all right, let's wrap this thing up. So, any announcements you wanna give us?
Yeah. So many. So next Friday, I'm Not Nervous live video. We're gonna have probably a couple weeks of a little bit of slowdown for releases. We're going to finish. We're gonna finish the month out with that one on July 31st. Then mid-August, we have the video for the second song called Navy Blue. And that to me is probably it's easily one of the best songs I've ever written. I really adore that song. That is my mom's second favorite song, for what it's worth. And that video will come out August 21st. And then the full EP, it's called Fall Apart Anywhere, will be out August 28th.
Wow.
This year.
Hell yeah. We're under almost at a month of this release.
Yep.
I am so stoked for you guys.
It's coming up fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You got any with the social medias, anything else you want to plug or anything else you want to shout out here while we're rounding it out?
You can't let me do this. Look up Floorbird on everything. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, all the socials, Instagram, probably ones. I'm not allowed to manage them, which is again another rant, but like I don't know enough people, especially like in kind of the local scene. So like I will read messages and just be like, that's so nice. I don't know you, and so I won't respond. And then now we look like assholes because I didn't respond to the thing. And so that's why Kevin and Drew have to run it, because I can't be trusted. But Kevin and Drew are operating all the socials along with Tom. And Galactic Sugar, my wife, makes incredible jewelry. Go check her stuff out. Support Black-owned businesses.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Awesome.
Oh, dude, no, thanks for coming on and taking this time out.
Me and my many personalities, I guess. I don't fucking know. But
yeah, I mean, Monique was there and so in the giving spirits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, that's all we got. We've got our masks on sale. As you can see, our Tara joined us for a moment to model our masks. But make sure you send us those links, Eric, so we can put it on the website and on the YouTube video and everything for this. But if you're tuning in, make sure you follow all their social media and check out the lyric video / music video that they put out. It is dope. You will not regret it. And if you do, we don't care. So have a great night, guys.
Thanks very much.